I will give our opponent kudos for being bold. Hello my friends, it's Johnaroth, and today, after my last video, in one of the games I played against Xanathar. And I hadn't seen Xanathar in quite a while, so I thought, you know, with all the new cards that have come out and the updates that have been made, let's take Xanathar for a spin and see if we can kind of update him a little bit. Xanathar is a very expensive commander to cast in blue and black. He costs 4 colorless, 1 blue and 1 black, 6 mana. And if you're not playing green where you can ramp, it is a lot harder to cast a commander like this. He is a 5/6, and at the beginning of your upkeep, choose target opponent. Until end of turn, that player can't cast spells. You may look at the top card of their library anytime, and you may play the top card of their library, and you may spend mana as though it were mana of any color to cast spells this way. So it's a very powerful effect where once you get Xanathar onto the battlefield, he's a bulky 5/6. Your opponent can't cast spells on your turn, and you can cast spells off the top of their deck. So what kind of shell do we have built around this? Well, first off, we go with a lot of the best, my favorite type of black cards. We have Unstoppable Slasher, which can remove half your opponent's life, Barragoyf, which gains you life and can draw cards, creatures back into your hand. We have Shieldred the Apocalypse, which gains life, cause your opponent to lose life. Scarab God, which can animate cards out of the graveyard. And then we also have a lot of control elements like Mana Drain, Counterspell, Wash Away, all those blue cards. Cards where we can target our opponent's hands, Inquisition of Kozilek, and Thoughtseize. And then we do have as many ramp cards in this deck as we can outside of mono green. Arcane Signet, Dimir Signet, Worn Power Stone, Vial of Galadriel. We also have in this deck Ancient Tomb, cards that are basically going to get us a lot of mana so we can cast some of our big spells. And we do have some very big spells in this deck. Expropriate allows you to take multiple turns or steal things. Breach the Multiverse takes 2 things out of your graveyard and your opponent's graveyard. Liliana Dreadhorde General can sacrifice multiple key creatures, get you card draw, etc. So there's a lot of very powerful effects that can win you the game. So let's take Xanathar, Guild Kingpin, into the queue and see if he's still relevant in today's meta. Let's go. Very first game is against Coast, the Fangkeeper. Our opponent gets to go first. Okay, our opponent's going to put down a Kami. We'll put down an island here. Opponent's going to get out Birds of Paradise. I'm hoping we can lure our opponent into playing out a lot of stuff, including Kotus. And then the goal is to use the Toxic Deluge. Let's go ahead and get out the Ripples of Undeath here. Okay, our opponent did not get a land. Do we want to pay 1? No, we do not. We're going to need to use the Toxic Deluge, so I'm going to decline on that. Let's go ahead and use the Toxic Deluge for 1. Wipe the board. That really sets back our opponent quite a bit. Now the goal here is to make sure he does not get Kotus onto the battlefield. I'm going to go ahead and pay the 1 here to get back a swamp. I'm going to keep up the mana because I want to make sure we have enough mana for mana drain in case we need it. Let's see. If he gets down land, he would have 5, and he needs 6. So we're going to risk it, I do think, now, and we'll get a Psychic Frog. Opponent's going to kill off our Psychic Frog, unfortunately. Opponent's going to get a Delighted Halfling. Oh, look at that. I'm just going to go ahead and pay the 1 here to get back the land. We're just going to keep the mana going. We're going to put down a land. We're going to cut down the Delighted Halfling, keeping up a mana drain. We're just going to let those cards sit here. I'm going to put down a land, and we're going to pass the turn. We're actually in a pretty advantageous place here because we have counter spells, and our opponent's deck is built around his commander, Voltron type build, so he probably doesn't have a lot of counter spells. Opponent's going to hit us for 1. I'm just going to keep putting down lands. I'm not going to cast anything. We could cast Breach the Multiverse, but I'm just going to go ahead and cast Black Market Connections. We'll have to be careful with our Black Market Connections, though, because we don't want to lose a lot of life. Opponent has a Scythe Cat Cub. We're going to, let's see here. If we get a treasure, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We need 6 for Xanathar. Let's get a treasure and draw another card here. Get a Time Warp, which is great. Do we want to get any of those back? No. If we cast Breach the Multiverse, we'll still have mana up for a mana drain. I'm going to risk it and go for a Breach the Multiverse here. Oh, I see some good stuff. Okay, let's see here. What do we want? We'll take the Sawdust Demolisher from our opponent. And for us, let's take the Scarab God. It gives us a pretty sizable army here. Opponent's going to try to cast Damnation to wipe the board. Do we let our opponent do that? I say we don't. We're going to counter that. We're going to take an additional turn, and we're going to swing in against our opponent and do so much damage. We're going to get to draw additional cards. Xanathar. We could even bounce their stuff on if they even get to their turn. They are so dead. Really good first game. This game is against Rofellos. This hand is a little slow. We really need a third land here. We do have... I'm going to mulligan. Hopefully we can get a slightly better hand. This hand is a little better. We do get to go first. I'm going to go ahead and try this. We really need another land, though. Rofellos is a very scary commander. I'm going to put down a swamp so we can have up a fail push. Rofellos is a 2-1. This card was actually okay, so we did draw a land, so that's good. Let's go ahead and put down the Ripples of Undeath. This card was actually banned in Commander. It's a 2-1, but you can tap it. It's only 2 mana to get 1 green for every single forest you have. Okay, so our opponent has out a Shaman. Interesting. Do we want to pay to get any of those back? I don't think so. I'm going to go ahead and put down a land. Let's get out Liliana and kill off the Shaman, because the Shaman will allow him to get other creatures, which we don't want him to do. Ancient Tomb will help us get out Xanathar, which is awesome. Opponent gets out Eldrami. Very good card. Let's see here. Draw any removal? No. I'm going to go ahead and pay the 1 to get the Baragoyf back. Let's put down a swamp. Let's get out our Baragoyf. Let's use Liliana to discard a card. I'm going to discard the Tail's End. Fatal Push is still really good here. We're just going to keep making our opponent discard cards. We're paying life, but Baragoyf will help offset that life loss. Opponent gets out Rofellos. I am going to go ahead and pay the 1 to get back another land. Let's use the Fatal Push on Rofellos to get rid of it. And now we're going to use the murder. We are in really good shape here. Let's use the Murderous Rider to kill off Eldrami and win the game. We're going to kill off Eldrami. We're going to swing in with Baragoyf, gain 6 life back, get a creature card out of the graveyard as we mill cards, be drawing 2 cards a turn from Ripples of Undeath while continuing to hit our opponent's hand over and over. The game is over. Good game. This game is against Cody. Very powerful commander. Mostly going to be a spell deck. I'm going to go ahead and keep this hand. We will put down the Gemstone Caverns. And what do we want to get rid of, though? I'm going to get rid of the Unstoppable Slasher. We will be able to get... We could potentially have 3 mana on our turn if we want. But I don't see a lot of value in that yet. We're going to go ahead and put down the Ripples of Undeath. We seem to draw Ripples of Undeath a lot with this deck, which is interesting. Our opponent is going to... I'm going to go ahead and pay to get back a snow-covered island because we really do need some blue mana here. I'm going to then put down the Chrome Mox. We'll put Shieldred underneath it. I want to keep up the Disallow as a counter spell. Our opponent's going to try to cultivate. We're not going to let that happen. We don't want him to get a ton of mana. We'll pay the 1 to get back Memory Lapse, and then I'm going to go ahead and put down Castle Locthwain. Just kind of ramping and making sure our opponent doesn't do anything. We're going to use Memory Lapse on Cody to put him to the top of the library. Oh, he actually put it back in the command zone. Interesting. I'm going to go ahead and pay the 1, and let's go for a Baragoyf here. Let's put down an island, and let's get out our Baragoyf. Ripples of Undeath is really helping us out big time in this game. Opponent's going to cast Make Your Own Luck. Chimmel. Do we want Chimmel? I'm going to decline on this one. Let's go ahead and get down a land. Let's get out Ashiok here. Want to keep up mana for a counter spell. We're going to exile the card, keep Jace. And we're going to swing in with our Baragoyf here. We may be in a tricky situation on this turn. Did not draw anything. He's going to take an additional turn. This is scary. Discover the formula, get some cards. We need some counter spells here to beat this. He's going to have a lot of powerful effects. Oh, it's almost a whole spell deck, quite honestly. Cody's one of the only real creatures he has in this. We really need like a couple counter spells, time spells, those types of things. Opponent's going to kill off our Baragoyf. Opponent's then going to get out Cody. Expropriate. Yes, I will pay for Expropriate. We'll take that back. We don't have enough mana to cast it yet, but that's okay. Let's look at the top 2 cards we have. Let's exile one of these and get this back. I'm going to go ahead and get out Jace here. We're going to go ahead and bounce Cody back to our opponent's hand. Then let's get out our Palantir for kind of further setting up our side. These 2 cards really don't help us, so we'll scry those to the bottom. Ooh, Time Warp. But our opponent did take 5 damage from that, so that's good. We're going to go ahead and Pact of Negation his Alron's Epiphany so he doesn't get another turn. That will cost us some mana, but we do get to at least get another turn, so that's good. We're going to take another card back. We're going to take the Gloomlake Verge here. Let's draw some cards. I'm going to put back the Black Market Connections and the... It's tricky. Strix Serenade. We'll keep the Strix on top. Let's create some tokens here so that we can have some offense. Black Market Connections, I really don't think. Strix Serenade's pretty good, though. Opponent took some more damage. We do have up 1 counter spell, potentially 2. I'm hoping he tries to cast his commander so we can wash away it and keep up the mana leak. Opponent's going to cast Dark Ritual. Opponent's eyeing our Palantir quite a bit. He may have like casualties of war or something like that, maybe. Okay, he does have a casualties of war. I'm going to go ahead and counter that. Our opponent is in serious trouble unless he has like another time spell here. Going to cast Expressive Iteration. I think we've got him. Opponent's going to cast Wrath of God. Perfectly fine. I am going to pay the 1 here to get one of our cards back. Let's get back the counter spell. Okay, what do we do? I think first, let's get some new creatures onto the battlefield. Our opponent is down to 8. Let's do a Thoughtseize on our opponent and see what he has over here. He has some very powerful cards. I am going to get rid of the Mizzix's Mastery, though, so he can't cast a bunch of spells at the same time. Let's go ahead and draw some cards with Jace. Our opponent's down to 7. Basically, I want to keep up a bunch of counter spells. Put back the Swamp and the Quag Feast, like so. We're so close to casting Expropriate, but that's not going to happen. I'm going to keep up the mana. Our opponent has to let us draw here. Let's scry away a little bit. If he doesn't... Okay, our opponent is down to 2. I will give our opponent kudos for being bold. Very bold opponent for letting us draw some of that stuff. I'll give him credit where credit is due. Opponent is going to try to draw 3. We're going to let them do that. They have a ton of mana here. Luckily, our opponent doesn't know what we have. Our opponent's down to 1. Yeah, they didn't find anything, but man, that was a game. We had up 2 counter spells. I would probably use the Mana Leak first to drain away our opponent's mana supply, and then the counter spell. On our turn, we've got this. We can cast Expropriate, take like 3 turns. They're down to 1 life. There's no coming back. Really good game. It is our turn against one of my least favorite commanders, Azusa. You'll never see me make an Azusa commander deck. This hand is decent. This is okay. We're going to go ahead and keep this. Azusa, the card I play against the most on Arena. We're going to play down the Undercity Sewers. Bitter Triumph. We just need lands, so I'm going to go ahead and surveil that away. So this is a 1-2. Basically, you can play 3 lands on every one of your turns, so it's a super hardcore ramp card. I'm going to go ahead and put down a Swamp. I'm going to hope he casts Azusa here. I'm going to cast a Scythe Cat Cub instead. Do we want to counter that? No, we don't. We'll let our opponent have that. We're definitely going to take some damage here, though. Do we let our opponent have a turn with Azusa on the battlefield? I'm going to say yes. We're going to get out black market connections. I need the treasure. We're going to have to wipe the board here, though. We're going to take a lot of damage. Six. 7. I'm going to take 7. Jeez. Let's create a treasure, draw a card. First, let's take a look at our opponent's hand. See what he has. Wow. Just the most crazy stuff you could possibly have here. Okay, let's get rid of Lumra. And we're going to take some more damage here, unfortunately. We're going to have to take, what? Sacrifice this land, destroy target land. May search its control. Let's just do 8. We are going to be so low on life, but that's okay. We're down to 5. So basically, we're on a ticking clock because of the black market connections. Opponent's going to look for a creature here. He's going to get out the Cityscape Leveler. We're going to go for a treasure. We're going to get out Liliana here because we're going to have to kill off the Cityscape Leveler. Now, he could summon the Cityscape Leveler again on his turn, so I guess it's just going to depend on what he does here. Opponent's going to have a Crawling Barrens here. We're going to go ahead and kill off the Crawling Barrens, so he loses a land. That was a pretty good move for us. Now we are very low on life. All I can basically do is the treasure at this point. I'm going to go ahead and have him discard another one of his cards. Let's see what he discards here. All right. So he discarded the... Did he discard the portal? He did discard the portal. Let's go ahead and get out Narset. We got to look for a solution or we're going to be dead. We need to start gaining some life somehow. The Palantir is not going to cut it there. I'm going to not cast the Palantir because I need to keep up mana for a counterspell. Opponent's going to summon a Crucible of Worlds. We're going to go ahead and counter that. I don't want him getting cut. Yeah, that's enough for us to win. Wow. Whew. What a game. Azusa is just, it's just quite a card. Playing against Tifa Lockhart. We're going to need some removal. Well, I mean, we do have one removal spell as long as he doesn't have a Delighted Halfling. I guess we'll try it. But this is going to be a very tricky game. Whenever I play against mono green and I'm playing a Dimir deck, it's always turn 1 Delighted Halfling almost every single time. Opponent has a tapped land. We have a island. Opponent is trying to cast a Scythe Cat Cub. I'm gonna Strict Serenade that. I don't really want him to have that. Okay, let's put down a land here. Let's get out our Baleful Strix so we can draw another card. I'm not going to block. Baleful Strix is useful against Tifa or a Mossborn Hydra, quite honestly. Let's put down the Mistrise, and we're going to go ahead and kill off the Mossborn Hydra. It's interesting that our opponent drew like all the most powerful landfall creatures you could have. I'm just going to go ahead and block this so we can keep up Liliana. Okay, so he's going to summon Tifa. Let's go ahead and get out Liliana. Which is one... See, Tifa does have a lot of... This deck probably has a lot of like hexproof type cards, those type. But it's hard for green to deal with sacrifice effects. So we were able to kill off Tifa. I'm hoping we draw a land on our next turn so that we can use the Deadly Cover-Up. We'll see. Did draw a land here, so I'm going to go ahead and use the Deadly Cover-Up. We're going to use it also to exile something from his graveyard. He may have an indestructible spell. It's possible. Yeah. The key to dealing with a Tifa deck is to have a lot of removal spells, and you do want to be aware that they probably have some hexproof type cards in their hand, but hexproof can't deal with sacrifice or board wipes, so good game. Opponent goes first. We are playing against Grist the Hunger Tide. I actually like this hand because of the fact that we have black market connections. I'm going to go ahead and keep this. If we can keep black market connections on the battlefield for a turn or two, we'll be in really good shape. Put down a swamp and let's get out a Chrome Mox here. We're gonna get rid of the Deadly Cover-Up. Let's put down the Gifted Aetherborn. Gifted Aetherborn is kind of a pet card of mine. Plus the life gain will help offset the amount of damage we're going to take from black market connections. Let's see what our opponent does here. Swing in with the Gifted Aetherborn. Gonna gain some damage here. Let's go ahead and get out black market connections. Opponent's going to kill off the Gifted Aetherborn. I hope our opponent tries to cast his commander here. We'll see. He is perfectly fine, because that gets us black market connections. Oh, this is pretty good, actually. Let's put down the Gemstone Cavern. And let's go ahead and kill off Grist. We have up a Disallow as well as a Tail's End to protect our black market connections or any other threats he wants to do. opponent is wanting to get out a frill back. I'm going to go ahead and counter that because that can destroy enchantments. And we want to keep our black market connections. Let's go ahead and let's get some more modes here. I'm going to go ahead and put down a Cavern of Souls, and we're going to say Beholder. Then we're going to cast Time Warp. Let's swing in with our token. We're going to draw a treasure and another card here. Let's go ahead and get out the Palantir. And yeah, it's just way too much value here. We have up a Tail's End so we can counter Grist again, Fatal Push or Toxic Deluge. There's very little that he can do. Thank you, my friends, for watching another one of my videos. This one featuring Xanathar, Guild Kingpin. Xanathar I would put at probably about a C tier, and I do want to always give you any feedback that I have around any decks that I build. I won a lot of games with my Xanathar Dimir deck, but it wasn't because of Xanathar. It's because we have a good Dimir shell that allows us to get out a lot of value. I almost never cast Xanathar. The problem with a card like this is that it costs 6 mana to get onto the battlefield. So it's very hard to get out your commander. Usually the games are over by the time you're going to get out Xanathar. And when Xanathar comes out, his effect is powerful, especially keeping control decks off your back on your turns, but you could whiff a lot on looking at the top of your opponent's deck. Again, I had a very good win rate with this deck, so if you do want to build it and try to explore Xanathar, I do recommend looking into that if you're interested. But if you're thinking that this is a commander that you're going to cast a lot and get onto the battlefield a lot to use, you're not. Period. It's just not going to happen, but I did have a lot of fun playing it, and it is worth looking into for something different. The deck list is in the description below. Please don't forget to like. Please don't forget to subscribe. Please don't forget to leave a comment below talking about a commander you'd like me to looking into, or the state of Magic, or your favorite flavor of ice cream. I don't really care as long as I get to talk to you, part of the Magic community. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day.